What's up guys, Mike Builds. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be trying to run my 3 horsepower 196cc Chinese diesel engine, and we're going to try to run it on olive oil. I built this thing a couple months ago. I've had quite a few people ask me to try different fuels in it, and I said I would. So we're going to go ahead and try it in this video. So here's what we're going to run. I wanted to run vegetable oil and used motor oil, but I don't have any at the moment. So we're going to try this stuff first. I have my temporary fuel cell set up so we can actually watch the fuel getting burned. And all I'm going to do is come down here, disconnect the fuel line right here, go into the injection pump. We're going to connect our fuel cell to that and then just fill the fuel cell up with the olive oil and get the engine running. And as long as we see it burning that oil, then we know it'll work and we'll be able to see how much smoke the engine makes. We're going to do it unloaded first. And I've had quite a few people asking me about the 10 horsepower diesel Tricon building. So here's kind of a sneak peek on that, just to kind of show you guys what's going on with it. So this thing is pretty much done, but this is going to be its own video. But I have had a ton of people messaging me about this, so this thing is fully built and done. I just have to go test it, so that's going to be for a different video, so look out for that if you're interested. But that's it guys, I'm going to go ahead and get the fuel system set up, get it filled with olive oil, and see if we can't get the engine to run. And that's it. We just got to attach the line right here. Went ahead and put this pole in the ground to attach our graduated cylinder fuel tank to. Just like that, nice and simple. It is going to be a pain to get this fuel line bled, so I might bleed it first on diesel fuel just to get fuel flowing through the line, and then go with the olive oil just in case we have any air bubbles and problems getting the engine to run. I don't want to be fighting the olive oil. I just want to get all the air out first with normal diesel fuel. So I have the line pretty much completely purged. It is full of diesel fuel. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the olive oil to the cylinder, and I'm going to try to start the engine. The engine is initially going to be running on the diesel fuel, but we'll be able to see the level right here dropping, and as it drops, I'll keep adding olive oil, and then at some point it's going to start burning the olive oil, and we'll kind of know for sure if it's actually using it or not. So here we go. So there's our fuel of choice for today. It's a little thicker than diesel fuel. All right, so we have a bunch in the graduated cylinder. Now I'm going to go ahead and start the engine. Got to go get my drill starter for that. Oil as fuel, experiment number 1. All right guys, I actually came inside the house because of how loud it is, but as you guys can see, it's gonna run pretty good at first because it's gotta burn all the diesel fuel out of the fuel line. So we're just gonna let it run until the level in the graduated cylinder drops, and I'm just gonna keep adding olive oil. I would say once it uses what's in the cylinder right now initially, that should fill the whole fuel line up and it should start burning the olive oil. And we're gonna see if we see any sort of difference in how the engine runs. It is going to be hard to determine when it actually starts burning the olive oil. That's the only tricky part about my experiment. But so far the engine's running pretty good. All right, I'm going to go back outside. Okay, one thing I did kind of notice is the exhaust is starting to smell a little bit different. So I do think it's burning some of the olive oil now. And the engine performance seems to be fine. It's not smoking. All right, so we've burned a good amount of olive oil, but I do think that was all the fuel in the fuel line. So now I'm gonna put more olive oil, probably to about here, and we're gonna run all that through, and then we will know for sure that it is in fact burning the olive oil. The exhaust is starting to smell a little bit different. I can't describe the smell, but it doesn't smell like diesel. So we're gonna keep this going. All right, there's 50 milliliters of olive oil. Let's see if she'll fire up after shut it down. All right guys, here we go. This is the second load of olive oil. I had to go cool my GoPro off because it overheated. All right, let's get this thing started, see how she runs. All right guys, the engine's running pretty good. I can pretty confidently say it's running on either mostly or if not all olive oil, because the exhaust now does smell significantly different than if it was burning diesel fuel. The engine is not smoking any more than it did on diesel fuel, and it seems like the performance is pretty good. So yeah, we're gonna let this run until it burns all that fuel. As you guys saw when I revved it, it did smoke a little bit, but I feel like it smoked even a little bit less than it normally does on diesel, because normally you get a lot of thick black smoke, but the smoke appeared a little grayer and a little less thick. But that also could be because it's not very loaded. And it did rev up very nicely. It didn't seem like it was bogging down or anything weird. But so far, it really seems to run pretty good on this stuff. I didn't really know what to expect, especially because the olive oil is thicker. Well, it's just about out of fuel, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut the engine off before it starts sucking in air. Well, there you have it, guys. It runs very well on olive oil. We can, in fact, definitely use that as fuel. And it actually worked really good. I was actually really impressed. I guess on the next video, we're gonna try used motor oil, but that's gonna do it for right now. I am gonna find a way to put a load on this because I kind of changed some of the wiring up since the last time I actually used this as a generator. So I'm gonna try to fix that and actually connect this thing to a load. That way we can do another test and see how it performs under a load, see if it starts smoking a lot or how the engine behaves. But this test was definitely a success, and I'm very happy to see that you can in fact run this on different fuels. The whole idea of me building this was to be able to run it on like used oil and things like that and be able to charge my battery bank up. I thought was a cool idea because I can get unlimited access to used oil. The only thing I got to do with the used oil is filter really well. But anyways, that's going to do it, guys. Let me know what you guys think.